Just one day ago at Coach Drinkwitz's press conference, the media was gifted a unofficial depth chart for Week 1 of Missouri football's matchup against Murray State. Um, no crazy surprises on there at all, but a couple interesting things to note. Welcome back to the Extra Point. My name is Michael Stamps, one of the football reporters for Missouri on SI. We're gonna break down a couple of those interesting twists or adjustments on the depth chart. Um, First one being that backup defensive end behind Zion Young and Eddie Kelly. We've kind of had the general sense that Young was going to be the starter alongside Johnny Walker, and that Kelly was going to rotate um, in behind them. He has some positional versatility, so it was no surprise to see there. The backup to Walker was Joe Moore, and then Ja'Kai Lang behind them. No surprises there as well. Lang was a name that's been thrown around a little bit in the recent days after the injury of transfer Darius Smith. But behind Eddie Kelly in this order are Jalen Brown and Williams Nwaneri, the two highly touted freshmen. Obviously, Nwaneri, one of the best players in the 2024 recruiting class, not only for the Tigers class, but generally in the country. And Nwaneri was listed behind Jalen Brown, which might come to a couple people as a surprise. I think, just because he was so highly touted as a freshman, there was a general consensus that he might come in and get immediate steps on the first day. Doesn't appear to be the case. Appears to be that there's a bit of a learning curve for the highly touted local freshman. Jalen Brown has jumped him or has appeared ahead of him, kind of heading into Week 1 on this unofficial depth chart. Other one that caught my eye was the backup tight end spot. Jordan Harris, a sophomore, jumped ahead of Tyler Stevens, who was the only other tight end who had any receptions last year behind Brett Norfleet. Obviously, Norfleet is going to be the starter. That's not a shock to anyone at all. But Harris as the backup might come as a little bit of a surprise. Could be because of some injury stuff. Um, both Harris and Stevens have been, and Norfleet as well. All three have been banged up the last couple weeks to end fall camp. Harris was in a green jersey a couple weeks ago, but seems like he has secured that tight end two spot. Last but not least is that punt returner spot. And it's gonna be interesting to hear this guy's name, but Luther Burden is a starting punt returner, and I think some people might bring that into question, wanting to keep him out of harm's way, out of injury's way. We saw a lot of Daniel Blood as a kick and punt returner. Um, as of now, Marquise Johnson is listed as that kickoff returner. So we might see Daniel Blood, and Coach Drinkwitz a couple days ago mentioned that depending on the situation of the game, that there is going to be a mix and a spread of players at both kickoff and punt returner. But seeing Burns' name, he did a little bit of it last year. Many people did. So, seeing Burns' name there isn't a surprise. You can argue that maybe you want to keep him out of harm's way. Um, at the open practice just 1 week ago, we saw Daniel Blood doing both kickoff and punt return work. So, kind of that was a name that uh, was getting thrown around a little bit for that starting spot. Um, but heading into Week 1, it's going to be Luther Burden, star wide receiver, one of the best consensus receivers in the country, and the speedy sophomore Marquise Johnson at kickoff returner. That's all I have for you guys today. Make sure to tune into all of our content on Missouri on SI. Have a nice day.